Hi, I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. And today's topic is why there is such a difference in how a woman sees sex, how a man sees sex, and how we should see sex. And I'm going to begin by explaining to you what you already know, that sex can either be recreational, which means that can include all sorts of perversions and things that we find quite distasteful, or it can be, and it really boils down to these two main categories, or it could be used as a bridge for the hearts, for the soul, where our love is amplified by joining together sexually. And I put air quotes around that because when you do it with that mentality, that it is used to bind yourself and your husband together on that level of love, then the other parts can fill in, but they're not as important. But what happens is that because we are not taught from the time we're children, I mean, you take a look at sex education in school and it's all perversion. They talk about masturbation. They talk about these different attributes of sex that have nothing to do with marriage. And that's a shame. It really is. So what you need to do in your marriage is sort of reconstruct the place of sex within your marriage. Now, some women get so fed up that they just say no to their husbands all the time. And rarely do they engage in sex with their husband because they're demoralized and they're not getting out of it what they want. So now let's take a look at these two versions of sex. Copulation, okay? The version that the world is fixated on is the material side of sex. And for women who still want to engage in sex, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes it's just a release because it will act as a release, not just for men, but for women. Now, for men, the sexual drive is very, very strong. Why? It's very strong because we are created very differently, men and women. So women are created as the gender that has babies. Well, if you have a baby inside of you, you already are starting to feel love for that baby. Now, a man, no matter what he says, I really don't care what he says, even if he says it to himself, does not fall in love with that baby yet. He falls in love with the baby, but in a different way after it's born. Because the man is not designed to raise that child from the time it's an embryo until it's, let's face it, when a woman has a baby, she's a mom until the day she dies. But men are not designed that way. Men are designed to be warriors, to take care of the wife and her child until the day he dies. He's designed that way. Whereas the wife, her heart opens up. Now, because of the perversion of society as a whole, what's happened is that the idea of utilizing sex simply and exclusively for the purpose of conveying love has been lost to all the mainstream nonsense of striving for orgasms, release, and interesting sex, and this kind of sex, and that kind of sex, which is probably what your husband is talking about. He's being sold a bill of goods, and now he's trying to sell you on this bill of goods, and there's a part of you that's going, this is wrong. Yes, it's wrong. Now here's the problem. You can't tell him that. Because if you tell him that, what goes along with his masculinity, his desire, which is innate, his desire to be a protector, his desire to be, some call it the leader, and we both know differently than that, but the leader in the family is a higher ego. He's got a stronger ego. And so criticism really digs deep. You can't teach him to shift by communicating this to him verbally. You can't give him a book that explains this. You can't ask him to watch this video because it'll create a resentful reaction. What can you do? What you can do, what you should do, is you should not be the slut. And I've heard this in the past, that a wife should be a genteel wife in public and his whore in the bedroom. No, that's not true. You should be his lover in the bedroom, but not with the emphasis on the sex, on the playfulness of sex. Now, you can have that. It's not bad, but you don't want the focus of your interaction on that level, on the physical level, to be recreational. You want it to be true intimacy. So how do you get there? Well, this is a deep topic, actually. And I'm going to touch on it. Obviously, we can't get there in a video, but basically what you want to do is you want to cultivate the love that you have in the marriage. You see, you're going to have to approach this in a roundabout way. You cannot, and trust me, I've been doing this since 2001. I used to be a divorce mediator, and I changed. You cannot approach these things directly, nor should you want to. Because what you should want to do is continually cultivate the love and connection in your marriage until death do you part. It's an ongoing process, and we've never learned about this. We have never learned that we should be building the foundation of our marriage every single day. Have you ever heard that before? No. But that is how you have a successful marriage. And then what happens is the sex part of the marriage for him starts to pull back a little. But you can never be critical of him, you see. So you have to be very patient with this because it could take time. It could literally take months and years to accomplish what you want. But you don't even know about it yourself. So let's get you on track. You have to remember, sex between me and my husband is a way of building the love between our hearts. And everything that I do in this arena of sexuality should be geared toward building the love between our hearts. And you must never be critical of your husband's desire for sex. And the only reason it's getting out there and getting strange is because he's becoming desperate, you see. So you have to learn how to massage this into your marriage. And you can do it. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. I hope this helped you see it a little more clearly. You could try reading one of my books. You could get the course for women. You could listen to these videos. So you should subscribe and like the video. Leave a comment if you wish. And if you want to argue this point with me, instead of arguing, and you want to leave it in the comment section, ask questions. Learn how to open your receptivity rather than push back. It'll make a big difference in your marriage. God bless you and take care.